In the luxury EV space and amongst the German giants, I picked the BMW iX and the Mercedes EQS for this side-by-side comparison. The BMW iX is available in two trims against the three for the Mercedes EQS. At the end of this video, instead of the usual practice of comparing the base trims, I am presenting specs of trims that I feel are nearest in comparison. That's the top trim of the BMW iX and the mid trim of the Mercedes EQS. Both brands have loyal followers going back generations, and this video is purely to assess value in the side-by-side comparison. But that's for a bit later. At first, let's look at my impressions and the specs of each brand individually. Lots been spoken about what is now fairly controversial. That's the BMW iX's front look. I will leave that aspect as that's to me the company's design language. The BMW iX has no front trunk. You need a special tool to even open the hood. So you need to take it to BMW for even changing the 12-volt battery. That's really strange. It has a tow hitch that extends electronically with a button in the rear hatch cargo area. The washer fluid container is accessible via the logo on the hood. The 40-20-40 seats can be lowered with a button in the rear cargo area. The driver cabin is truly premium. The buttons are ceramic coated and the BMW design language is evident through and through. The big screen, which looks like one continuous one, is actually two screens, a 12.3 inches instrument cluster and a 14.9 inches center display. The center console holds the controls for the center display with a start-stop button, the gear selector, the volume control, etc. The iX has three driving modes: the efficient for maximum range, the personal that's customizable for the driver's preferences, and ultimately a sports mode for power and performance. The iX comes with BMW's iDrive system. The system supports Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, 5G connections, over-the-air updates, and a Wi-Fi hotspot feature. Under the console is the wireless phone charger, two USB ports, and cup holders. An interesting aspect of the BMW iX is that its 22-inch wheels bring higher range than the 21-inch ones. This is strange as that equation in normal times is generally in inverse. I think it's attributable to a bulkier 21-inch wheel with lesser favorable aerodynamics. BMW sells its own charging station called BMW Wallbox. Strangely, it comes at max 40 amps and does not match the iX's max AC onboard charging capacity of 48 amps. The 2024 model could have some notable enhancements to the parking assistance, possibly a smartphone-driven remote parking feature. The premium M60 trim will always be difficult to digest, with little incremental value for a whole lot of money. Very much a rule with most cars. The car is an experience, as every BMW is. The BMW iX comes in two trims, the xDrive 50 and the M60. The BMW iX xDrive 50 is 195 inches long, 77.4 inches wide, and 67.7 inches tall. The BMW iX M60 is almost an inch shorter at 66.8 inches, in the only size difference with the base trim xDrive 50. The xDrive 50 offers 516 horsepower and 564 pound-feet of torque, while the M60 offers 610 horsepower and 749 pound-feet of torque. The xDrive 50 does a 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, while the M60 does it in 3.6 seconds. Both the trims have the same gross 111.5 kWh battery pack, which I guess is 105 to 106 kWh usable. The xDrive 50 has a listed EPA rated range of 305 to 311 miles, which I believe is conservative and could be higher in the real world. The M60 has an EPA rated range of 296 miles. Both have an 11 kilowatt or 48 amp on-board AC charger. That's roughly 150 miles of range in 5 hours of full capacity AC home charging. The xDrive 50 can tow up to 1075 pounds. The comparable figure for the M60 has not been made available by BMW at the time of making this video. Both the trims have a 35.5 cubic feet of rear cargo and 77.9 cubic feet of overall cargo with no front trunk, and both have a curb weight of 2500 pounds, a headroom of 41.5 inches front and rear, 40.2 inches of legroom in the front, and 38.9 inches of legroom in the rear. The BMW iX has a wheelbase of 118.1 inches and the trims come in 20 and 21 inches wheels respectively. The xDrive is priced at $87,100 and the M60 is priced at $111,500. This is all before dealer markups. The iX has a 195 kilowatt max DC charge rate. I don't emphasize much on this variable for any car, as what matters is the charging curve. The BMW iX holds its 195 kilowatt for barely 5 to 10 minutes on most occasions. Within that time, you will see it trickle down to 170 to 180 kilowatts. The ramp up to the max rate is however very quick, within the first few minutes. Within 15 minutes odd, you will hit 30 to 35% of state of charge if charging from 0%, by when you can expect it to be around 150 kilowatts. This is very much the nature of DC fast charging for most cars. You can still expect the iX to hit 50% state of charge in around 20 to 25 minutes when charging on a 350 kilowatt DC fast charger. This is a very good charging performance. It will hold 50 kilowatt at 90%. To me, there must be lots of copper in the battery cathode. Just my guess. I also expect higher charging losses in most of these large battery packs, nearly about 15%. BMW actually is among the only makers publishing their charging curve. To check this performance in terms of miles added in DC fast charging, if one were to take the estimated EPA range as base, it's roughly 100 miles of range in 15 minutes, 200 miles in half an hour, and about 300 miles in an hour. This is important information for these cars with over 100 kilowatt hour battery packs and with over 300 miles range. Their customers expect to have all the luxury features and comforts on long road trips, and this factor of the charge curve is very critical to understand, especially as manufacturers are often silent on it and only quote the max DC charge rates. Most importantly, and please note that all of these estimates are based on access to and availability of a reliable DC fast charger, a big question in North America outside the Tesla network. Number of companies make electric vehicles. What's special is understanding the needs of EVs. Mercedes, in my opinion, is one such example. Its battery preconditioning is synchronized so well with actual use. Like the battery leaves some charging for the time of departure, maintaining low state of charge for long. Small things like these are difficult to find in the many companies now making electric vehicles. The design is best left to the eyes of the beholder. Mercedes is always about the interiors. The giant screen is really almost the entire length of the dash. The cup holders lock in the drink. It has a full leather interior, I think in only the top trim, and a tempered down option for the lower ones. The EQS surely does not have a fully animal free interior. Don't like that at all. The interior has more ambient lighting than most other brands. Not sure if that is a decision factor for most people. It has a 800-watt sound system which is incredible, along with full surround and Dolby sound. The seats have a design pillow. The seats will surely call for good care. It has a good old perfectly round steering, unlike the hexagonal one in the BMW iX. The Mercedes EQS comes in three trims. the EQS 450 Plus, the rear-wheel drive trim, the EQS 450 4MATIC, the mid trim, and the EQS 580 4MATIC, the top trim. All three are similarly sized: 201.9 inches long, 84.9 inches wide, and 67.7 inches tall. The EQS base trim offers 355 horsepower and 419 pound-feet of torque. The EQS 450 4MATIC offers 355 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. The EQS 580 4MATIC offers 536 horsepower and 633 pound-feet of torque. The base trim does a 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, the mid trim in 5.8 seconds, and the top trim in 4.5 seconds. All the three have a 108.4 kWh battery pack, 107.8 kWh usable. Their EPA rated range differs between the base and the other two trims. The rear-wheel drive base trim is rated at 350 miles, the mid and the top trims at 285 miles. All three trims come with a 9.6 kilowatt onboard AC charger, which is 40 amps. The towing capability of the mid trim is unknown, but the base trim can tow 1075 pounds and the top trim can tow 3500 pounds. The EQS offers a 23 cubic feet rear cargo capacity, 74 cubic feet in all. Their curb weight differs significantly too. The base trim weighs 5,963 pounds, the mid trim 6,206 pounds, and the top trim 6,228 pounds. The EQS has 40.7 inches and 40.6 inches of headroom in the front and rear, and legroom of 40.6 inches and 41.3 inches on the respective sides. The EQS has a 126.4 inches wheelbase. The base trim comes with 20-inch wheels and the top trim with 21 inches. The mid trim is unknown. The base trim is priced at $104,400, the mid trim at $107,400, and the top trim at $125,590, all before dealer markups. I was unable to check the charging performance of the EQS. If I do get access, I will surely publish it in a future video. This chart presents all the trims side by side for your convenience. I hope you liked this video and it helped you place these two luxury electric vehicle brands side by side to compare. Put in the comments your thoughts and ideas. Until the next one, take very good care and thank you for watching.